My name's Joe Cheal with Imaginarium and with GWIS NLP, and I'm going to be speaking at the NLP Conference 2020 about resourcing language. Now, if I say the word rabbit, that will have meaning for you, and that will light up a whole bunch of neurons, and a network will kick off at that point. But what fascinates me as well is if we go back in time, let's say the last 2,000 years, the English language, and by the way, I'm going to have to focus on the English language because I don't really know many others particularly well. Over the last couple of thousand years, the English language hasn't stood still. In fact, it has changed dramatically. It has been influenced dramatically. So the words that we have today and the meaning we associate with them, well, sometimes we can track back through time, and by having a little bit more of an understanding of the etymology, the history of language, we can sometimes help ourselves and perhaps help a client if they're stuck on, particularly around a word. We have certain words that have meanings. Let me use the word dilemma. So we think, oh, dilemmas is not good. I have a dilemma, oh no, unless it's a positive dilemma, but most people don't kind of go to a NLP practitioner, etc., if they have a positive dilemma. So that we've got a dilemma. But did you know that dilemma is just two lemmas? Lemma is still a word that exists. It doesn't get used today, but it still exists. I think it's in the dictionary. A lemma is just a proposition or a position on something. So even that in and of itself, if I'm working with a client and they say they have a dilemma, I may, in the early phases, actually just point out, so you have two lemmas. This is good. Tell me about your lemmas. Now, the word lemma, I just think is intrinsically silly and has humour to it. So that immediately kind of breaks the dilemma into there's two lemmas and then tell me about it. That's an example. The word monster. Think about that one. We've kind of created now. We have horror movies with monsters in, but monster, if you just track back in time, is very much linked to the word demonstrate. It's to show, to see something. So, you know, it's a pretty neutral starting point, but over time it's developed into something scary. You get the idea. So what we're going to be covering, we're going to be going back through time a little bit and just tracking back in terms of what's influenced the English language, just to see some of the kind of connections, interconnections, but also giving you an opportunity during, it's a 45-minute session, but it will be purely about curiosity. So you will have an opportunity to track back and have a look at some words, and you know, see where they come from. So if you're curious about language, neuro-linguistic programming, then come along and see what we're up to. Bye for now.